Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be building a very powerful command line assistant powered by GPT-4. This assistant works with natural language. You can ask to run scripts, to move files and folders, open and close applications, and many more features are there, and we'll be exploring them during the demo, and then I'll walk you through the code. Just a heads up, the code is right here. It is 95 lines of code. It's very simple. Nothing about this code is complicated. The only trick is to get the system's instruction right. That said, I will obviously walk you through the code and show you how it's all well put together, but I won't be live coding all this stuff because first of all it's simple, and second it doesn't make sense at all. But I will leave a link for you guys to download and play with it and customize the way you want. Yeah, so without further ado, let's just go ahead and do some demo. Quit the running version. I'm gonna clear screen and let's do list folders in my downloads folder. List only images if there are any. There you go. Clear screen. Show the content of flowers folder now. All right. Okay, here it is opening Safari. Close Safari. Okay, done. Show status. There you go, 69% battery status. Show the content of located in my downloads folder. Yep. So I sometimes use -C to signal that my intent is command, not conversation. These are some of the things you can do and more. I encourage you to explore and discover for yourself. Stuff like asking questions. What's the capital of Italy? Is Rome? Some math questions like what is 10 plus 25 minus 5. 10 plus 25 minus 5 would be 30. That's correct. Okay, and then to quit, you just type quit, and there you have it. Now let's jump into the coding. All right, as I said earlier, I won't be coding live, but I will explain everything line by line. We import all the necessary libraries. Some of them are native libraries, means you don't have to install them. Some are third-party libraries, that means you will have to install them. So basically, the one that's the most important one here, I mean, all of them are important, but the one that I'm relying on to communicate with the AI GPT-4 is OpenAI's library. In order to install that, just use pip install OpenAI. And then another library that you will have to install is Prompt Toolkit. Prompt Toolkit is a very powerful library that allows you to create interactive command line tools such as this one. By adding Prompt Toolkit library, I was able to provide features like history, command history, keyboard navigation, such as going up and using the arrow keys to complete commands from the past and navigate through the previous commands using up and down arrow keys. So you have to install these libraries, and then once you're done installing them, import like so. You can also alternatively just download my code and play with it. The next step would be to define our welcome screen function. Welcome screen function doesn't do much except just displaying the TermGPT ASCII art. This ASCII art, you can do it by going to one of those free ASCII art generators online, and then you just copy paste, and there's an instruction on how to exit from this command line tool as well. The next is our main function. The main function calls the welcome screen at the start and also initialize the OpenAI object. OpenAI obviously needs the OpenAI key that you can get by going to the OpenAI website, subscribing to get an API key, and then obviously export that on your terminal, and then get it here by using the os.get environmental variable, or get env, and then typing this can be, you can name this whatever you want, but it has to be consistent with how you exported your OpenAI key. The next one is system message. This is a very tricky one. You will have to precisely just define how you want the AI model to behave. I've tried to give it a name. So if you ask what's your name, it will say my name is TermGPT. Another thing that I wanted to point out for the model is that it has two modes of operation, a command mode and a conversation mode. It tries to decide how to handle my prompt based on the nature of the text. So if I say hi, then it's a conversation mode, so it will respond in conversation mode. If I say show me how many folders are there in in X location, then it takes that in command mode. Sometimes it misses to classify this based on the prompt, so I have also added additional message here by saying if I do -c or -- command, then that's your signal to take it as a command mode, because what happens is sometimes my intentions are for the AI engine to execute a code, but it just shows me as a text. So in order to fix that issue, I came up with this, but I've also allowed it to use the internet. I've defined, told specifically that this is a MacBook Air, just to get it familiar with the hardware. And I've also allowed it to use Python. What else? Apple script. And it's also, I've encouraged it to use the internet as well. So, read this, play with it, tweak it in a way that you want, and then, adjust as you go. The next one is defining messages, because we're trying to establish some sort of context here. We have a messages list that has lists of libraries, list of these dictionaries. So these dictionaries, for the most part, will have roles, role and content. So for this particular case, I'll have role system, I'll have role user, and role assistant. So the role system gives the system's instruction for the model, and it instructs it how to behave. The user contains all the commands or all the prompts that came from the user, and the assistant, which you can see here, contains all the output that came out of the assistant. So because every time the system looks at this messages list, it keeps track of the context. So instead of saying, for example, after you ask about the downloads folder, you don't have to ask it specify again downloads. You can say the folder we talked about, or what else is in there. Such kind of things you can do. Okay, so messages we create here, and then we keep on appending more dictionaries as we go. History, as I indicated earlier, is part of the prompt toolkit. History object, text has a history object, tries to memorize my prompts. Auto suggest tries to complete my prompts as I go, and then there's an infinite while loop that gets exited or break when the user types quit. And this is case insensitive, so the user can type quit in any way they want. Here we're taking the prompt from the user. That's where it starts and then you type whatever you typed is then your history can be auto completed here also, but you can navigate through your history here, and it can be auto completed as well. All right, so we're appending the content, which is the prompt here, and then we send the content to the model here, and then we expect the completion. Once the completion is received, we take the content of that, and that will be our chat response. So if our chat response contains command mode, then we'll treat the response as a command, and then we will use subprocess to run it as shell command. Once we run, then we'll have to upload the command as an assistant message to our messages list. History then comes and collects our content, which is our prompt. So then in a case where Our response, our AI response includes conversation mode. What we do is, this is kind of a workaround that I came up with because sometimes it misclassifies a command as conversation. I will just run it anyway, but it doesn't show any result. But if the command or the text that came back from the model runs successfully, that means the result is 0, then I will run it. But if it doesn't run successfully, it means it's a text, so I will run it anyway. And that content also goes into my history so that I can traverse through my commands using the arrow keys, to be specific. If that's not the case, I will still display my message and append it. Here's another workaround. As you might know, GPT-4 has a limitation, token limitation. So when I reach over 30,000 characters, because I'm just counting everything in my contents key in the dictionary, if it's over 30,000, I'll just keep the last 10 messages, if you will, and I'll just run it. And that's it. No magic. Only the magic here, the system's instruction. I have great appreciation to the power of GPT-4, to be honest. It's just so amazing. It's been doing things like, you know, playing music, taking selfies that I couldn't try here because, in all honesty, it wasn't consistently working. But when it does, when it finally reaches, you know, a level where it does get things 100% right, this is going to be transformational. I will never use terminals again except in English, and I feel like the world's most popular programming language is going to be English and not Python. So I hope you enjoyed this little demo and code walkthrough. As I said, I will leave the Discord, the link for you guys to download Discord. All you have to do is just go ahead and get the subscription. It's not a lot, but I would advise you as well to just keep monitoring your OpenAI cost, because it can rack up quite quickly. And that's it. Thank you.